What is up? What is up? What is up, everybody? It's Tuesday, and we got a new show. I am so excited for this show. Sports Affiliation. It's going to be a great night. Appreciate everyone for coming out with us tonight. Oh, it's going to be a good night. Greg, are you ready for this one?
I am, JC, and I have to say, it's almost frightening how we've turned into a professional organization that's professional about having fun. I mean, look at this. We're starting off a brand new show with Carla and Wendy coming back every week. And then we started off with the commissioner of the longest running 25 years women's only fantasy football. And I know, Teena, I know you prefer ladies of football, but the real name was Ladies of Fantasy Football, not fantasy football. It was LOFF. I remember, because I remember that logo was pretty cool, and I didn't do it. I don't remember who did the logo, but it was sweet. And this league, we started in 98, and Teena was just a member of the league, and Teena's actually competed against me in the Battle League, which was a league our friend Brian Hewlett put together, bid auction draft league, but shortened to battle. But anyway, I want each of the ladies to introduce themselves to you so we can get this interview. I think this is a game-breaking, a game-changing interview tonight. Carla, tell us who you are, where you're from, and why you love fantasy football.
My name is Carla, and I'm Lebanese, and I live in Connecticut. I love football because of my boyfriend. I didn't know anything about football, honestly, until 2 years ago. So I started watching football, and it attracted me. And the first game I was watching, it was KC, and that's why KC is my football team. So starting from that, I went to Ohio for the first year, and I couldn't wait to see all my friends the second year. So I went twice to Ohio, and I just fell in love with fantasy football and football. I am a teacher in the morning and a Zumba instructor in the afternoon.
And when she says Ohio, she's talking about the Fantasy Football Expo. She didn't just go to Canton, Ohio. She went when a bunch of nuts like JC and I were there, and she was not intimidated at all. Carla is going to be great in this. But Wendy, funniest lady I've ever met. We're sitting there watching JC and Iggy play flag football, actual physical stuff. And Wendy's cracking me up the whole night. Wendy, tell us about yourself.
Oh, thank you, Greg. My name is Wendy Early. I'm from Indiana, and I went to the expo as well. And as I'm sitting watching, I was so looking forward to meeting JC, and I'm so glad I did. This is just a great opportunity, but basically Greg was sitting behind me at the fantasy football, at the expo, at the game, at the football game. And he's telling me, I got to get you on my show and this and that. Okay. I'm new here. Okay. I didn't know the magnitude of this man's legacy as I'm talking to him. And I start telling him, this Greg guy over here. And they're like, do you realize who you're talking about? And I'm like, no, he opened me. He just opened my eyes to everyone there was accessible. It didn't matter if you were a big star or just me. I was just a fan. But this community has really opened up, a lot of opportunities for me, for women in general. And I feel very included with the Sports Affiliation group. So I really want to thank you guys for having me.
Okay, so those are the two ladies that are going to be running the newest Sports Affiliation podcast, The Game Changers. But the lady in the middle is the special guest tonight. This is Teena Gunter, and I know she's a Texan at heart, but she loves Arkansas. Can't figure that out because she lives in Oklahoma. But we're going to let Teena talk a little bit before we get to the questions about the Ladies of Fantasy Football, the LOFF League that started in 1998, and I dare anybody to find a league that's been continuous longer. And I do want to give a shout out. There was an auto-drafted team in Teena's league this year. It used to be a 12-team league. It's now an 8-team league. Next year, we want more ladies to join it, get it back up to 12. I'm trying to convince Teena to take it over to Sleeper from ESPN so it's accessible to the fans, so you can actually share the standings and everything. But our very own Wendy Early volunteered to take over a team. But now, Teena, tell us about yourself and tell us a little bit about the ladies of fantasy football.
Thank you, Greg. Well, ladies of fantasy football, we've been around since 1998, and it just started off as let's do a showcase league of just ladies. And so we had 20 people at the time, and we did 2 different divisions, and they were named for female athletes. I think we had the Wilma Rudolph and the Babe Dietrichson divisions. And we've managed to keep it going all that time. We've had a lot of people in and out of the league, and we did drop down to 8 teams as of last year, but we got back up to 10 this year. So my hope is I really want to see 12 back in it because it just makes it more fun. So but no, it's been a great ride, and I've loved that league. So we've done everything we can, especially those of us that have been in it a long time, to keep it going.
Okay, so I'm going to ask one question, then I'm turning it over to the ladies to conduct the interview and kick off their show. I want you to call out, if you've got them in front of you, the original ladies that are still in the league 25 years later, and tell us about the 2 special ladies that you've actually named divisions after and why.
Well, we had we've got 10 members right now, like I said, and we've got Elaine of the Tennessee Ram Raiders, who has been in it, I believe, from the very beginning, as well as Tammy Brownell, who's with the Margarita Mamas, and she's been with us forever as well. Live Wires by Cheryl. She's always
Bayless,
been
yeah.
with it, and she actually has won this league a lot more times than anybody else has. So we've got quite a few. Blue Moon Owls with Christy Walker. She's been in, I think, since the very beginning as well. And then the folks we have that have kind of filled in over the years, we've got several that have become long timers over that years. And that's Anita with her, what does she call her team again? Oh, the A-Team Warriors. And then her daughter also, Courtney, does Court's Killers. So we've had a really good group. We did lose a few folks over the years that passed away, and so eventually when we lost the first one, which was gone blank, Greg, you've got it.
Barbara Mickelson, I think, wasn't it?
Well, it was Jess Hanley. It was
Jess Hanley, right.
And when she passed away, to kind of honor her, we renamed one of our divisions for her. And then Peg
Draper, yeah,
passed away as well. And so we named the other one for her. So those were when we still had our 20 teams, we had the 2 divisions. Now, since then, we've lost one other member, Sally Abbott, who was in the league for a number of years. And but since we only have 10 members, we no longer have our divisions. So we're not quite able to honor them as well as we could in the past. But maybe moving to Sleeper, we'll have that opportunity.
Yes, you can definitely do that. Now, again, I want to thank you for giving us your time, your presence, and Carla, take it away.
How are you, Miss Teena?
I'm very good, Carla.
So I'm going to start with this. How long have you played fantasy football, and how many leagues are you in?
Well, I started in 1997. That was the first year I played. And yes, Greg, it was Brian Hewlett that got me involved because I happened to work with him at that time at the same office. He got us, we actually started a office league with about 12 of us and had a great time. And it was a lot of fun, especially with all people from the office, because, we could argue back and forth and make fun of each other for picks and that sort of thing. We always did live drafts. So, but after that, I got involved in several more. Today, I have 4 leagues, but guess some of those fell apart over the years. But I've had as many as 8 to 10, which is
Nice.
actually a bit much for me. I discovered probably better to stick around 6. My husband prefers I stay around 4 so that I'm not totally involved all the time. So.
So my next question is gonna be, as a non-fantasy woman like myself, so with no background and anything about fantasy football, what advice can you give women like me to convince us that we should play?
Well, if you love football, NFL football, and I've been an NFL fan since birth, I'm pretty sure. So, but if you love football, I find fantasy, I've got my teams that I follow, but I find fantasy makes every game interesting because there's almost never a matchup that I don't have at least one player playing in it. And I enjoy that. That way I can enjoy all the games. I love keeping up with the players. I love keeping up with, the league that I had with Greg, that battle league, we actually had to go pretty deep for players. So I got to where I knew the third and fourth string running backs for a lot of teams. So if you really love football, it's a great way to enhance the games, truly,
And
and it allows you to enjoy all the games.
and back
Truly.
then there was
Agree.
none of this zero running back strategy. It was all stud running back. Everybody
Uh-huh.
went running back the first 2 rounds. And Wendy, did you have some questions?
I do, yeah. So first of all, Teena, how wonderful that you are our first guest. I'm so happy that you're here because you're a game changer. Okay, 25 years ago there weren't all women leagues, and you did that. So thank you for being here. But has your women's league? Have you ever had an in-person live draft or anything like that?
No, we've never been able to do that because people are from
Everybody
all across
lives.
the country.
Yeah,
At one
yeah.
point, we even had, and I don't know if we still do, but we had somebody from England in it.
Oh wow,
So
that's
yeah, so
nice.
it was a large group, and we were way spread out.
So did you end up doing like a slow draft since you had different time zones for different people?
We had it set up where we could do two different types of drafts because we had 20 players. Each division drafted separately. So those that one group could do quote an email draft. We had a 12-hour timer, and we
Okay.
used myfantasyleague.com at the time. So we were able to do a slow draft for some folks, and then others of us preferred a live draft. And so we would also set a date and time for a live draft for that group.
Oh,
And
nice. And then
so
just kind of
we did
incorporate
both ways.
And
everything.
Right.
I
And it worked.
believe, correct me if I'm wrong, when we had the two divisions, we allowed you guys to draft from the same pool of players so that you could have the same player in both divisions.
Right. But we did not cross over and play each other people in the other division until the final game because each winner of each division then played in the Super Bowl.
Okay. All right. That's a neat way to do it. Have you ever met any of your league mates in person? Like,
None of the originals, no, because
okay.
we just haven't. We're on Facebook with a lot of them. The ones that I've met in person are people that I got involved in the league just from here, people I've known through different ways and have gotten involved. So there's probably 3 in the league right now that are good friends of mine as well. So
Oh, nice. Well, I can tell you there's already people in the chat, women in the chat that want in.
awesome.
Oh,
Awesome.
yeah.
We'll
So
get them signed up next
if
year.
you want it, yep. And we're going to give you that opportunity later to give all your contact information. But I'm seeing the chat and they're like, I want in, especially Angie. I saw Angie.
Well, we want to
Great.
get the league built back up. I don't know if we'll go 20 teams, but if Teena's willing to do it, we'll certainly help her with the sleeper setup to make that happen. And if she wants to go back to my fantasy league, I'll certainly reach out to Mike Hall, who owns my fantasy league. And even if I have to pay for it out of pocket, I'll do that because I think this is important. Now, I'm going to give a little podcasting note to the ladies. You guys have to share the questions. One
She's
question
next.
apiece and then switch it over to the other one. So it's Carla's turn.
All right.
Hi, sir. So, Mike, next question to you, Teena. Where do you see the Ladies of Football League going in the future, and how difficult was it to start? Could you have imagined it being what it is today?
I don't think I expected us to last this long. And
Hmm.
there were some down times for the league when, you know, Greg was our commissioner for many, many years. And then
Yeah,
and
he
then I
told us
took
so.
over after he left. And then it would we would have years at a certain point. I got a little burnt out because I was running like 6 leagues, and I was like, I can't keep doing this is hard. You know? So I kind of
Of
backed
course, if
off
you
and
have a
didn't run.
family too.
Yeah. And so I kind of backed off on doing those. And but so we would drop in numbers, we would add numbers. Sometimes the hardest part was finding people to participate. Just making sure we could get new names in there and such. So but I'm hoping this league gets back to where it was. I loved it when it was 20 folks. I love the fact that it's all women because, you know,
Yes.
most other leagues I get involved in, there are very few, if any, women. So, so I'm always looking to try to expand it.
Wendy,
Well,
up to you.
that is definitely going to happen, Teena.
That
So
sounds
be
awesome.
prepared. So we're here to help. You know, that's kind of what this is about is to get this growing for you. And heck, I'm in it already. And I got a team that was auto drafted in Teena's league. She's like, hey, it's an auto draft. So I'm like, okay, I'll do it. That team's probably one of the only teams that won for me this week. Okay,
you
so
beat
thank
me.
you. You gave me a good team. So thank
Problem
you
is
for
you
that.
beat me. So
Yeah. Oh, sorry.
yeah.
Now, you know, my question would be, have you ever been in a league like with all men
Oh yeah. Most leagues have been
where you
all
treated
men.
pretty
I
well?
mean, oh yeah, I've
Good.
never had any problems with anybody. You know, I see some leagues where they seem to have a lot of fighting and stuff going on, but
Yeah.
you know, battle had a lot of unique personalities in it, but it was a lot of fun, and I never had any trouble with anybody at
And
all.
it was
Good.
all men except for you, I believe.
Early on,
Nice.
Cheryl Carradine eventually joined
Oh
as
yeah,
well.
I
So
remember Cheryl too. Yeah, you're
yes.
bringing back memories. Wendy, your turn.
No, it's Carla.
Oh,
I got you.
Now you're forgetting me, Greg.
I pointed
Um,
at Carla and said, Wendy, I'm going on mute. You guys handle it.
What is your vision for women in fantasy football? Do you envision a day in the near future when women in fantasy is a generally accepted thing?
I kind of thought it already was because there's a few of us out there. I've certainly, but you know, I want more women involved in it, mainly because I'm an addict and I really like to talk to people about fantasy football. So I want to meet more people that are interested in it and such. So, but no, I think that they're fairly well accepted. It's just you just don't see it as often. So many of the, like I say, most of the leagues I join are all men. And I only join free leagues, so it's you know I'm not interested in the gambling aspect of it. That's not why I do it. I do it because I have fun.
Well, that's
Wendy, back
good.
to you.
Yeah. So are there any analysts that are favorites of yours that you listen to or follow on Twitter or Facebook? You have to say Greg because he's here. But
Yes, I could say Greg. You know.
is there anyone else that is sort of close to Greg?
Well, I usually use the huddle.com as one of my resources for information. I also use what is it? Draft Guys? No, not Draft Guys. We were talking about it just the other night, Greg, but the
Draft
the guys.
Sharks,
No, not Draft Sharks. Anyway,
football
it's
guys.
Football Guys. That's the one.
Okay.
Guys.
Joe
Yeah.
Branson.
Yeah.
Let me
Which
ask you before I
I
before I go back to Wendy to finish
Sure.
your question. The huddle, is that still run by Whitney Walters and David Dory?
I do think so. Yeah, David is, and David was in battle with us many years ago. if I
Yeah,
recall.
and they're both great guys, very
Yeah.
good guys. So
Yeah,
Well,
and their info is good to use. So
the second part of that I would venture to say is, what do we have to do to get you on Twitter?
I have a Twitter account.
You do?
Oh yeah, I've got one. But
Oh, well,
know-
then we all need to be following each other because I
Well-
thought you only did Facebook. So that's good to know.
well, I have a Twitter account. I have an Instagram account. I'm just never on them. So.
I'm terrible at Instagram. I don't
Yeah.
understand it. So Twitter's about the biggest one for me, but I think you'll find a lot of good information on there if you kind of maybe get into it a little bit more.
Okay.
And
Yeah, I probably need to pay attention.
Yeah. Well, yeah, that kind of helps too.
Yeah. Yeah.
Carla?
My next question for you, Ms. Teena, is: are there one or two particular qualities that women bring to fantasy football? If so, what are they?
I think most women understand the fun of it. We don't typically have a lot of fighting or anything. I will say we did have an incident one time years ago in this league where we had a woman that was trying to load up the team that was opposing another team every week by trading crazy stupid trades to them, and we figured out she was trying to beat up on this one person, and she was kicked out summarily right away. So but that's the only incident I've ever had with that. So
I would say style and grace.
Back to you, Wendy.
I heard you say earlier that you have some teams that you follow. Who is your favorite professional football team that you follow?
I follow Dallas and Denver. I always say I need
Oh.
an NFC team and an AFC team.
Oh, you're
So
pretty happy about that Dallas defense this past week, then, weren't you?
I was blown away by them Sunday night.
I think they were blown away by themselves.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was fantastic. That's cool.
No, it's not cool. I have a league called the Beat a Hall of Famer League, and I went up against. I had the Atlanta defense because I figured going against a rookie quarterback, I'd get pretty good points, and I did. I got 33 points from my defense. My opponent had the Cowboys and got 72 points.
Oh my gosh. Yeah.
Yeah, that was a good week for them. Not for you, but for them.
Yeah.
Carla?
I want to ask you a little bit about being the commissioner of the league. What is the most difficult part of being the commissioner of ladies of football for that long?
Usually it's really smooth. The hardest part is making sure we have all the ladies that are planning on doing it at the beginning of the season and getting enough to be ready to draft. The other hard part is figuring out a time, since everybody's all over the country, to draft. The only other hard part of it is if there is a dispute, then I kind of have to be the person that mediates that or figures out what's going on and interpreting the rules. So that's would be the only other hard part. But really, to me, the hardest part of doing it is just getting the league going each year. After that, most of the time it's pretty smooth sailing.
Wendy, back to you.
Kind of speaking on that, what did your league do last year with the Cincinnati game, the Cincinnati Buffalo game? What did you guys end up doing?
We were on Yahoo, so we just let Yahoo decide, and we just let it go. Yeah.
Okay.
So we didn't try to do anything different. We just let Yahoo take it. So
yeah, that was probably a good call there. But so how do you spend your off season? Are you all year round? You're doing this fantasy thing all year round, or you take some time off? Or
I mainly spend my time looking at changes in teams and such. I get my regular updates and keep up with injuries and keep up with trades and keep up with free agents and that sort of thing, but not as intensely. I miss football every single second that it's not on my TV. Every single second. Now, the USFL and some of those other leagues, they got me through the spring, but it wasn't the same. So
I love the USFL. I had season tickets to the Washington Federals. I got to see Kelvin Bryant. I got to see Herschel Walker. I mean, there was some really good Anthony Carter from the Michigan Panthers. Oh, yeah. There were some really good players in the USFL. Donald Trump, say what you want about him. He poured money into that league, and it was much better than the XFL. I don't like the XFL, but the USFL I loved. Carla?
Next time I'm coming with you, Greg. You're not going alone. This next question is a little bit personal. So prior to attending the Fantasy Football Expo, I wasn't aware that we had women that played fantasy football. So seeing that, it was really refreshing for me, and I was really happy and excited about it to know that we had the queen of classic. So what can be done to educate people about the importance of women in sports? And can the NFL do something about it? If so, what can be done?
Well, I'm one that constantly watches the commercials that come on that relate to the NFL because I want to see how many women they've included in it, and I'm constantly hoping to see more than just all the guys watching the game. I've noticed folks that are getting better about making sure that they realize women are big NFL fans as well. So, but I think it'd be awesome if most of the websites out there, like Yahoo and ESPN and NFL, if they've showcased some women's leagues. I think it would grow the sport pretty dramatically. I think a lot of people would want to would see it and go, "Oh, there's a league for me in there too." So I would love to see some of the other websites showcase them. I mean, that's what my fantasy league did in the early years, was they kind of showcased us as a league, and they were nice enough to give it to us for free for many years. We just contact them preseason, and they would take care of us for
Oh,
it.
that's
So
awesome.
Mike
That's awesome.
Hall is a wonderful man, and he's done a lot for this hobby. He was the first to have live scoring before ESPN, before Yahoo. Mike Hall's My Fantasy League had live scoring, and it was tremendously effective. But Carly, you mentioned you want to go with me. Well, there is no USFL now, but I'm going back to the Expo next year, Teena. I think you and your husband should come and visit us there.
Yes, I agree. We would love to see you. Back to you, Wendy.
And that is, I'm going to tell you something, Teena. I was in the spot that you're probably in. I was like, there's no way I'm not going to the expo. I don't know enough about this. I don't, I'm just a fan. And I'm still just a fan. But the way that expo goes down, first of all, you only meet about 1/3 of the people that you really, go to see. It's clock management, time management, gone, forget about it. You just can't do it. But, just to be able to talk, like, my friends aren't like me. Okay. My girlfriends don't do this the way that I do it. Those people are like me, so the inclusiveness and I feel that that's what this, sports affiliation is trying to do is kind of get women included. And that's why we're here. And we appreciate that. So, man, if you come to that expo, we are going to have so much fun. I guarantee it.
I'm seriously considering it. I did go and have it signed up for email alerts about it.
Yeah, for sure.
That
So
would be
so
awesome.
with your actual, league that I'm in now, by the way, yeah, yay. So how far do you think you could expand? What if you got 40 teams? Can you handle that?
Well, we couldn't do it all in one. Obviously, that just wouldn't work. But I would love to see us back.
4 divisions.
Right,
10
yeah,
each.
different divisions.
Yeah.
And
If we could do something like that, I'm all for it. I want as many women involved as possible.
That's
I'm
awesome.
constantly begging friends of mine, "Oh, y'all want to do a league? You want to do the league?" And they all just look at me blankly,
Yeah.
like, why would I do that?
Well, this year I ran a league called Battle of the Sexes, and it's men against women, and it's been so much fun. The draft was great. It's best ball. And we needed more women. We actually had to turn away some men because we didn't have enough women.
And for me,
should have called.
there we go. We're
Next
back.
year you're in, Greg. I already told you you're top of the list. So if we could incorporate some of your women to come and play in our league, that would be great too. And that's going to open up the door for women from Battle of the Sexes to come over to your league.
Exactly.
So, that's kind
wonderful.
of building that relationship. And I think that's wonderful.
So, Teena, I did want to point out that these 2 ladies have lots of women friends on Twitter that like fantasy football.
Yep.
And some of them are in the chat right now. And I don't think you'll have any problem getting to 20.
Mm-mm.
I think the only problem you may have is limiting it to 20.
Okay.
And the point is, if you get on Twitter, then you're going to find it. And I would also like to recommend, if you go to YouTube and you search Fantasy Football Expo, all the breakout sessions will come up, and there is one by the women.
Okay.
And so you can go there and get some more names.
Excellent.
And also, if you plan on moving your league to sleeper and you want to make it, bigger, we are more than happy to help you run that league. So
That would
just
be
so you know
awesome.
that.
I would love to see it explode. I mean, truly.
Well, you're in the right place then.
Yes.
Well, we love you, so we want to be involved, and there's a lot of. I did see a few women, like I said in the chat, just I want in next year. So I think this is going to work out very well for everyone.
Awesome.
Is there anything that you'd like to promote besides the league? Anything you want to tell anyone about yourself, or? Oh, hey, we got questions too in the comments
we've
there.
got questions. I mean, I'm just a big fan. I mean, and that's how I kind of fell into this, and so I just enjoy the sport with other people. I enjoy getting to know other people. I enjoy getting to know people that are like-minded. So it's fantastic. My day job is I'm a lawyer, so it's
Oh, yeah. Hey, by the way, I'm a lawyer.
Yeah, so that's not as exciting as fantasy football for me. So.
It's pretty impressive, though.
That's awesome.
Yes.
We didn't even know that.
Yeah.
Hey guys, we have a question
Yes.
in the chat. If you can see it on your screen, it's Abby wants to know,
Yes.
when picking players for fantasy, who do you go for first? And by that, I think she probably means what position, not the individual player. And what are your strategies behind winning leagues and having good players?
Abby, by the way, is a fellow Zumba instructor with me. So
nice.
I want to just say hi to Abby. Thank you for coming to the show. Go ahead, Miss Teena.
Well, I mean, I was one of the diehards on take running backs. First two rounds, take a running back. There's not enough good ones out there. These days, those pickings are even slimmer. But I've had to make myself learn that wide receivers, some of these guys are just monsters out there and just put up crazy numbers. I used to say wide receivers were a dime a dozen because there's so many in the league. You can always find somebody that's going to perform. But these days I've realized that you need to look at it. I rely heavily on some of the like the huddle lists and things like that, where they do a pretty good job, I think, of looking at the top 10, and I look at that and go, okay, I could take that person if they're available, even though they're a wide receiver. So I've gotten a lot better about expanding. I was one of the diehards truly on running backs, but so many teams. I mean, there are very few teams where you have a running back that plays all the time. I mean, most of them, they're splitting them in and out, and some of them get touchdowns and some of them get yards. So.
Yeah. And I
Let's
think
connect a little bit to that. I have a question for you. Is there or are there any some like fantasy analysts who advise you lean on or do you pride yourself on doing your research and drawing your own conclusion? So do you have any analysts that you rely on, or you have your own conclusions into all of this?
Well, I do rely on the opinions that come up in the huddle. I use that the most. I also read other things that I find online and such, but I am not the type that can sit down and make my top 200 list all by myself. I'm not the type. I don't have time for that kind of research. So I like to rely on the guys that do, the folks that really do a good job with that. But I also, sometimes you have people you like and you don't like. So I'll always rework my list a little bit, but when I get ready to draft, I'll always move some people in and out and go, I just don't trust that guy. I don't think he should be that high, or I just don't like him. So he's not going to be there on my team, So
Teena, do you use ADP at all?
I am not terribly fond of ADP. ADP it's just where people have been taking people over the last, and it's usually compiled like all summer long. A lot changes. But especially when you get to training camp and some of those things. So most of the league, like Yahoo, when you draft, they put them in order of ADP pretty much. And I usually try to go in and do my own order and mix it up and take people in and out and that sort of thing. There's some people that just will never come up on my list because I've moved them off the list completely. So
Because you just don't like them.
yeah, exactly.
All right, we got another question there. Oh yeah, how many times have you won the ladies only league?
I've won twice in 25
Right.
years, which drives me
Yeah.
crazy. I've been runner up 3 or 4 times. So, but I tend to be one of those people that always has the stupid injury at the end of the season that just wipes me out. I hate that, but it happens.
Well, all the stupid injuries happened at the beginning of the season right now.
Yeah, exactly.
My
So,
goodness. You know, and
so,
I will say when Abby asked the question earlier, if she's kind of new, I'm not sure if she is, but sometimes you have to, when you do your draft, it's not necessarily I'm going running back. You know, it depends on how that draft falls to you too.
exactly.
You know, it depends on the scoring. Is it tight end premium? How many points for a passing touchdown?
Right.
You know, so there, yeah, you actually have to do a little bit of research. I'm not very good at it, just so everyone knows. You know, but I'm learning. I'm trying.
Mm-hmm. No, that's exactly
That's
right.
awesome.
I mean, it just has to work. People will fall to you. I got Patrick Mahomes in the 3rd round of
Oh,
one,
Yes.
and
Now I
thought,
love you more.
that's
Yeah.
unusual. So, you know, so I thought I may go ahead and take him this year. So
It's not a
usually
bad
I wait
choice.
for-
And I do need to apologize to Carla because I'm a Detroit Lions fan and I love Thursday night
oh
opening day.
man.
But
Don't make me roar, Greg.
I recognize that Detroit won for 3 reasons. Chris Jones didn't play, Travis Kelce didn't play, and Kadarius Toney can't catch a cold.
Yeah.
Yeah. We just gave it to them. That's it. That's what I'm gonna say.
And we gladly took it.
Yeah.
Your turn, Carla.
So, in almost 25 years of drafting teams, do you have 1 or 2 particular players that you enjoyed drafting the most?
Over the years, there have been people that I was just elated to get. People like Marshall Faulk, who caught footballs all day and ran the football all day and scored a lot of points. I mean, he was capable of 40 and 50 points in a game.
My boyfriend agrees.
Yeah. And Priest Holmes, there was a few years there when he was at Kansas City that he was just putting up crazy numbers. And so I really enjoyed that. One of my favorite quarterbacks used to be Steve McNair. I love Steve McNair. He could put up 300 yards passing, and he probably was going to run for a touchdown too. So, so he was one of my personal favorites, definitely over the years.
You
These days,
mentioned
I don't know if I
Priest
have
Holmes.
as many
What
favorites.
about Jamal Charles?
Oh, I remember Jamal Charles. Yes, he was one of those that could put up the numbers too. So, yeah, I don't tend to hit on those people as much anymore. I don't, occasionally you'll get a good game out of somebody, but I don't see people quite as consistent, except maybe some of the quarterbacks that can put up big numbers. So,
Wendy, back to you.
So since I didn't get to draft in your league, I
Right.
took which is probably a good thing because I got a really good team. Was it a snake draft or how did that? What was it? 3rd round reversal type thing?
No, it was just a traditional snake draft.
Is that what you prefer? I know there's like auction drafts, and what's your favorite kind of draft?
I don't know that I have a favorite. I enjoy auctions. I like snake drafts. I mean, I'll try anything once. Honestly, I like to just get involved in a league, and it's a little bit different. So let's see how that works.
I've never done an auction draft, but everybody says it's so much fun. And
Oh,
and
yeah,
they
it
had
can
they
get
had the
crazy,
big
too.
auction draft at the expo, and I did kind of pop in there and look around, but it was intense. Okay,
Yes.
it was
Wendy,
intense.
Wendy,
Yes.
I'm going to convince JC and Iggy to put on a sports affiliation auction draft next year.
Oh
would be
boy,
fun.
I guess I'm going to be auction drafting.
Maybe we can do it
Wendy,
live at the expo. I don't
Hey,
know.
there you go.
Do that. I mean, I didn't say that, did I?
Talking about auction draft, Wendy, if you sat there and see how people will go like so high with some players, and then out of nowhere they don't have money, and they just sit there like waiting for something to happen, and they will take a player or two for $1 because they don't have the money.
I call it spending like a drunken sailor. And I got to tell you, in Iggy's auction draft, I had Justin Jefferson dropped on me at 75. The software said that he was going for 95. I was just bidding him up. I had
Wow.
Josh Allen dropped on me for 50 something. Again, I was just bidding him up. I ended up with 4 quarterbacks in my auction draft.
Oh my
But
God.
but I did win week 1, and that's the only league I won in this year.
Oh, well,
That's
then you did
awesome.
something
Good
right.
for you.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
if the auctions at the expo having $200 and just having 4 for like $45, it was something to see. Teena, I'm gonna go ahead and ask you kind of like a personal question here. Do you want to tell me a little more about your personal life? Like, is your family on board with you being a fantasy player? Or like tell me a little bit about the negative and positive of being, of having this like a little bit part important of your life. So how you are like trying to go back and forth with family, with sports, with your work, everything. How you're juggling all of this.
Well, I have been known, don't tell my boss that I've drafted at work before, because it came up and I
It's a
thought, I'm going to do it.
secret.
It won't take long. But yeah, I mean, my husband laughs at me. He thinks fantasy football is absolutely ridiculous. He played a few years. He tried to join me, and I give him credit for that. But he's like, "This is stupid. Why are you
Yeah.
even doing this?" It's like, well, I'm sorry, but I am. And how many leagues are you doing this year? And I was like, 4. He goes, 4? I thought you were only going to do 2. Well,
Yeah.
some others came up.
Well, can't you, since you're a lawyer, can't you just file for your own divorce if you had to?
No.
It's a good
He
one.
sticks around. He lets me do it.
Now we don't talk the D word here.
No
No,
big
We don't
D's,
talk
huh?
the D, because
we
if
do not.
anybody was going to divorce anybody, it would have been my lovely
We-
wife years ago, where all the hours I spent doing this,
Yeah.
and she ran the family. So we don't talk the
Aw.
D word.
That's funny.
I feel all the women that if you're drafting, I feel everyone. I sit and watch drafting, and it's insane how much time it takes, how much preparation it takes. It's just, I sit behind Doug sometimes and I'm like, are you kidding me? Like,
Yeah.
it's taking, and I don't know if you all did it. You will have like 2 drafting like coming at the same time, and you have to go with this. And the commissioner will be talking here and here. You have to change the voice so you can keep up. It's crazy. Like my eyes will be like going like that.
We
It's
had a
just
draft. We had a draft
kudos
last
for
week.
you.
Was like 30 or 30 seconds, I think. I mean, it
That's
went
fast.
I was like not ready for that at
Yeah.
all. So I mean, as I can probably tell you, I probably lost this week. in that one.
Guilty. I like fast
Do
drafts.
you? Yeah, I mean,
love
a minute
fast
maybe,
drafts.
but man,
Be
30
ready.
seconds. Woo.
Be ready. You could, when you're not drafting, you can put players in the queue that
Mhm.
will be auto drafted for you. Be ready. Don't be talking to people when you're drafting. You get done with an entire draft in 2 hours by doing it 30 seconds. So I
Ours
like
was done a lot
JC. I
faster.
want your opinion on this. You haven't spoken up. So fast draft or slow draft?
So I think like the slow draft that are like 8 hours long, I think that sometimes can make you make the wrong decisions. You might do too much research. I'm gonna tell you right now, I have actually done a lot better, and I'm in a lot of leagues. I think I'm in more than, I'll just say I'm in more than 10. And that's non best ball. And I would say that the ones that I drafted in, like the auction draft, any of the live drafts, I would say I've done a hell of a lot better and finished a lot better in those leagues. So the 30 seconds is too fast for me, especially when we would do like when we would do a best ball draft on here and I would be hosting it. So it's like, and I'm trying to host and do this. But I like 2 minutes. I think that's perfect. That's like the perfect amount of time. 2 minutes is perfect. It still seems maybe a little long, but that just gives you a little time. Like, all right, maybe I like this guy. Let me just put him up against this guy real quick. Who's available? Like 2 minutes is just a perfect amount of time.
2 minutes is great until you get the one guy that times out every time.
Oh, that's
time.
even worse
Right.
when it's a slow draft.
Yes.
If it's 4 or 8
Yes.
hours and they time out, or
Back
if
to
they're on
Wendy.
the turn, if they're on the turn and they time out and they're going to time out again, that commissioner better get in there and get rid of them, right, Tina?
Yeah, yeah. I mean,
You know, that's just
you put them on
crazy.
auto draft as
Right.
fast as you can. So.
Yeah.
By the way, I didn't know that if you are out of time, the computer generates a name for you.
Mhm.
I'm in shock that it happens. For me, if you are out of time, you should be out.
Yeah.
Do you
Yeah,
do you
well-
agree with that? I don't know. I
Well-
felt like, okay, maybe this is something that every single league have, or just like that. It
Carla's
Carla-
like, we're gonna get a cattle prod. If you don't pick your pick, we're gonna cattle prod you.
Carla,
Okay?
Yeah.
if
please,
you
don't
do
do
that
I
where
like
they
it.
if
Why
you
you're
do
here?
that, if you do that where they don't get a player, you're going to have the team abandoned after 2 weeks
Yeah,
because
that's true.
Right.
they're not going to have anybody. So you got to let the auto draft happen.
Yeah. And then
Yeah,
the
but
best thing,
why be there in the draft if you want to have an auto pick for
That
you?
is a question that you're never going to get an answer to.
Well, I'll
because
give
give
you
you
we
Every
do
one
it.
commissioner
changes.
asks that question.
yeah.
Late second changes. You might I love Jonathan Taylor. I thought he was going to be great this year. Well, if you had the draft after he was put on PUP, then you can make that last second change where you may have been going to take him in the first or second round. Now you can just take him in the 6th or 7th.
Yeah.
And the best thing the best automatically, the best advice is just setting your pup or setting your what do you
Your
queue?
queue.
Setting your
Your
queue. Make sure you
pre-draft, yeah.
queue, because if you some like Sleeper's pretty good about it, but like in MFL, if you're drafting on MFL and you get auto drafted, you're probably gonna get about somebody that's not even in the league anymore or somebody that's not even playing. Like it's crazy.
Wow.
Yeah, and that's what really hurts.
Yeah.
So they can hurt your team or they can mess up your team.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so setting your queue is 100% like that's probably the best rule to just
Sleeper's pretty good because it'll look at your roster and give you a position you need to.
Oh, that's nice.
Oh, hey, Tina. One of our friends, Rachel, I want to call her out because she's in here, Tootsie Pop. I guarantee you she's coming to your league.
Awesome.
Yep.
Can't wait.
Yep. I'm loving it. I'm loving it. So can you tell us where people can find you? Give us your Twitter and your Facebook so people can find you, friend you, follow you, whatever, so they're able to get in on your league next year.
Okay. I'll have to go look at Twitter because, I never seem to know what I am. I'm at Teena Gunter. It's at TEENA, capital T, and then Run Together, capital GUNTER. That's on Twitter. And then on Facebook, it's
That was on Facebook, Tina.
huh?
Teena Gunter on Facebook.
No, that was Twitter.
Oh, it is? So it's
Yeah.
at Teena Gunter?
Yes. And then my Facebook one is my name. It's Teena G in parentheses Taylor Gunter, and I'm in Oklahoma City, so it's not hard to find me. And Tina's TEENA.
And if there's anybody out there that wants to join, if there's anybody that wants to come, you can either reach out to Wendy or Carla, or you can reach out to the sports affiliation at the sports affiliate, and we'll make sure that we get, we'll get in contact with Tina. We're definitely going to try to help you get this league with more people in there, and we can help.
Awesome.
Like I said, we'll definitely help you run the league if you need help with that.
I'm excited.
I
Yes.
have one more question for you, Ms. Tina. Is there anything that you would like to the opportunity to promote today?
I just like to promote fantasy football. Come on, ladies, get more involved in it. Join the leagues with the guys. They need the women in there, frankly, usually. So sometimes it makes them behave better. And but yeah, I just love to promote it. I think it's so much fun, and whether you join my league or somebody else's league, just do it. Whenever I've had so many leagues that I've been in over the years that have died eventually, and so I kind of miss some of those. But yeah, I'm just do it. If you get an opportunity and you love NFL football, do it.
Hey, Tina,
There's,
Marcy in the audience is
Yes.
giving you a shout out because she's
Awesome.
an Okie too.
Awesome.
So,
Okay.
Marcy, quick, give us a response. You going to join Teena's league next year?
So I know Marcy's just kind of getting into fantasy football, so we'll definitely get her in. I know that we were going to try to get a league together next year. We would like to do almost like a beginners league, a learners league. But
Okay.
yeah, I mean, we'll definitely try to get as many women out there into this league. I mean, that's our goal, is to help you grow this.
Maybe I will at some point.
That'd be awesome.
I'm still not not into it, but
Well,
maybe I will.
The good
Hey,
thing
Marcy's
about-
thinking about it. That's
Awesome.
a good answer.
Good
At least
job,
she's
Marcy.
thinking about it.
Hey,
So
Carla, you've got an expert sitting next to you that can help you.
Yes, I agree. I agree. I totally agree.
And
So
you have
can-
a community here. You have a full community here
Yeah.
That will support you and help you,
Yeah.
Teena.
Yes.
But Wendy, you get to
Yes.
wrap up the entire interview.
Oh, this is wonderful. Teena, we really want to thank you for the opportunity to let us grill you a little bit. And, and we, more than anything, having someone that has a league for 25 years of all women, that's so inspiring. I'm hoping that, I can follow in your footsteps or something, but I do want to thank the sports affiliation and Greg and JC. Let me tell you about these guys. Okay. JC, Iggy, Greg, Mace, everyone that's involved with the sports affiliation, especially JC and Iggy, they have reached out to us. They have given us everything we've asked for. We're amateurs here. We don't, we're not professionals, but they've really included us and make us feel welcome every single day. And I'm texting or sending goofy, little emails, and Carla and I are going back and forth, but you couldn't have picked a better partner for me, Greg and Carla. I don't know if it's what you saw in Canton or, whatever the case may be, but I think we're onto something good. And to start it off with Teena has just been a wonderful thing. And I thank you.
Oh, it's our
such an honor,
pleasure.
really. I agree.
I actually, Carla, I thought of you immediately, Wendy, based on the conversation. I hate to say this, Carla, until you posted that picture, and it was your birthday too, right? When you posted it?
No, it wasn't my birthday.
Oh, okay. But until you posted
yeah.
it, I had totally forgotten. And I thought, well, we had a good conversation. I think she'd be good. And she got so excited about doing this show with you, Wendy. But Teena, I just want to clarify something Wendy said. When she says, she really appreciates you doing this for 25 years, she doesn't realize that you started when you were 3 years old.
Yes, we agree all on that.
Sure. Yeah, exactly.
So I would like everybody to join us next week. Please hit that subscribe button. Give us a like on here. Thank you all for joining us. Next week,
going to have next week?
I was just going to say that, and now everyone gets to know. We are going to have high_hope 77, which is Hope Myers, and we are so excited to have her next week. So we will see everyone then.
Yeah, this has been an absolutely great show. We got Jameson here real quick saying these ladies killed it tonight. I'm here to support any way that I can.
I love Jameson.
Yeah.
Jameson's going to be on my show later. I'm not sure which week, but he's
Everyone.
definitely coming on.
Everyone, Greg.
Nice. Oh, Teena, just so you know, you remember the name Bob Harris, right?
Of course, yes.
Okay, so Bob and I are good friends.
Yeah.
Now,
Wendy tried to claim him as her bestie.
He is my bestie.
The first thing she said to me is he's her bestie.
And he even says it. He is my bestie. But you call him Bobby.
I do.
I should call him my husband, so I can get the more credit from Bob.
I think Doug would be upset with that. I think Doug might be a little upset with that one. Teena, thank you very much.
Thanks, y'all so much. This has been great.
Thank you so much, Teena.
Yeah, this has been an absolute blast. Like they said, it's going to be every Tuesday, and the normal time will be 9:30 Eastern time.
Yes.
And just so y'all know, we also do have, if anybody's a basketball fan, Off the Backboard with Dante and Iggy are going to be coming up, and that's going to be on Twitter Spaces. So that's right after this show if anybody wants to jump on and just listen. But tomorrow night we got my show, Midweek Madness. We're just going to get some pizza parlays that we like to do. We call them pizza parlays. Everyone likes pizza, right? Got to get your 3 toppings on your pizza. Pick 3 teams this week to leave with a win. We're gonna kind of make a little competition out of this. Maybe by the mid season, we'll see where everyone's at. We'll do some giveaways. You know me. They call me Justin Claus. You know, JC Claus, Santa Claus. You got the beard. I'm trying to give stuff away. I love it. I got so much stuff to give away. Let's make it a competition. Let's have some fun. So tomorrow night we'll have that. Thursday night we got Greg's show. Thursday, the Thursday check down, and that show is absolutely amazing. Him and Mace have a show, and then one of us, I think this week it's me, and then we also have Hutch on, so which is crazy. So you get to watch me cry about my Vikings going 0-2 this week against the Eagles, and then Thursday we also have the watch party. So I'll already be crying before that game starts, and you get to see that during the show. And then after that, we also have another show that we do with the guys at Fantasy Football Advice Network, and that show is just kind of a show that they do where they answer questions, and I hop on the show with them on their network. Friday we also have a college show. Saturday, Sunday we got shows going too. Sunday we got a betting show. So
they do watch shows too, where they watch the game and comment on it. But the thing about JC and Iggy is they're trying to build a network, like a block of shows all day long, every day. But they have a couple rules. The shows have to be fun. They can't be mean-spirited, and they have to be done somewhat professionally. And since I have one, they don't have to be perfectly professional, obviously, but they have to be somewhat professional. And I got to tell you, JC, when he says he'll give things away, JC and Iggy gave me a Herndon Hooker because they knew I was a Lions fan. Hendon Hooker autographed jersey at the expo. So these guys, when they say they'll give stuff away, it's not junk. They're giving away good stuff.
Yeah, we're gonna be doing. I might as well just pull this out. We're gonna be doing a Jeff Blake autograph. I got this autograph jersey right here. Boom. I'll just even show it to you.
Jeff Blake. None of these ladies are old enough to know who Jeff Blake is. Shh, Teena. Shh.
Just all of us.
Hall of Fame right there. Hall of Fame auto jersey. So we're gonna be giving stuff away. I got more stuff in my closet. I got some autographed balls. I think I got some punters in there, some punters, kickers. I think we got some wide receivers. I think we got everybody. I mean, it's going to be a lot of fun. We're going to be having fun this year and just keeping it going on all year. So hopefully we can add more shows. This show is going to be amazing. Obviously, we're off to a great start with this show, and a lot of people showed up. So I'm going to let y'all know that this is probably one of the most watched shows we've had in a while. So y'all kicked ass.
Yes. That's awesome.
Appreciate everyone coming out tonight. Like I said, we got off the backboard starting probably about now, and it's going to be on Twitter. So appreciate everyone showing up tonight. Have fun.
Yay. Have a good night, you guys.
Tina.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.